until like 12 p.m. Alright, we're done with tasks. A bit of caffeine. See, caffeine doesn't work for me unless I get good sleep. And I also get sick if I don't eat before. So it's like I have to make sure I eat beforehand. I have to digest, and I have to drink.
All right, GG. GG.
Wait.
Mike, I walk in to fix lights. Karina's dead in there. That's what
Hold
I'm saying.
on. No. Mike.
Mike,
listen to me.
Nate, I knew this last round.
No, Mike.
I don't need. I don't care. I don't
Brother, you
care.
just fucking
I'm
threw.
sorry. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my God, did you just throw?
Bro.
Maybe I need to defend myself better, but you guys just fucking costed this entire game. You already voted, so I'm gonna tell you, for your first stream, you did something really
Try and
fucking
defend
dumb.
yourself, Nate. That was a GG. There's no way Mike does that kill. It's over.
Mike.
It's over, bro.
Mike, that's my bad. I put that into your head. Mike,
Let's
you
go,
lost.
Mike.
That's my
That's
fault.
another dub, bro. That's another dub for the boys, dude. That's another dub for the
You don't
boys.
need to vote that way.
Let's go, Mike. Let's go.
Listen, I just want to be. I want your shit, Mike.
GG's in the chat.
Mike?
Hey, girl.
I hope the next
You
burger that
didn't
eat
even
is
listen to
terrible.
his explanation!
Whatever burger
Who
you
does
eat
that?
is gonna be burnt and disgusting.
Mike, it feels like Laser has a bit of a play over you right now.
Oh, here, let me explain this to you really quick.
Listen.
Let me, please, let me
Oh,
explain.
why? Matt didn't get to explain.
No, please, let me say this.
True.
Dude, Ray's sticking up for me. I
Yo,
love it.
never let me explain.
Well, I also fucked
Listen to
Nate
me.
shot because I tried to
Listen
protect
me.
him, and then he said, "I
Dane
think it's
used the
literally."
excuse 2 or 3 times already. Oh, I'm new to this game. It just sounded fake, bro. I'm sorry.
Real quick,
Yeah,
hear me out.
Mike.
No, hear me out real quick,
Sorry,
real quick.
you got
One
trained.
sec, hear me
All
out.
my homies hate
So
Mike.
for the future, if you're listening there,
All my homies hate Mike.
yo, Mike, check this out. You ready for this? 5-head CIA black site level intelligence. You ready for this?
Yes.
If it was Nade, right? He knows that you and Laser are onto him. Why would he kill the one person that is considering Laser? He would kill Laser or you,
Facts.
right? So like that is.
You streaming on Twitch? YouTube, okay. Stop watching that. Yeah. I'll do that next. You message me what it is.
We're standing by for new vote totals that may decide the presidential race. I'm Wolf Blitzer in the CNN Election Center. The nation and the world are waiting to find out if former Vice President Joe Biden locks in a victory over President Trump tonight. It could come down to the vote count in Pennsylvania, where Biden's lead has been widening. We expect to learn the results of thousands of ballots.
I didn't even know there was this gaming thing down here.
We're also expecting new results out of Georgia, where Biden's advantage grew a short while ago in a close race that may go to a recount. We're watching Pennsylvania and Georgia, Arizona and Nevada. All are too early to call. All are important as this election winds down. Biden looking for a win or
There's 120k people playing Among Us on YouTube.
electoral votes needed for victory. He's very close at 253, while Trump is behind with 213.
Dota's still pretty dead,
and seeing
but
his options fade away. Now a key race alert.
how do I search for it?
Let's start in Pennsylvania with 20 electoral votes. Biden's lead now 14,541, 49.5% over Trump's 49.3%. 96% of the estimated vote is in Pennsylvania, critical right now. Georgia with 16 electoral votes. Biden's lead has just increased to 4,185. 49.4%.
I don't know how to search
49.3%.
a particular game on
the
this.
estimated vote is in. Could be a recount in Georgia. In Arizona right now, 11 electoral votes. Biden's lead remains up there at 39,400. It's a bit lower than it was a while ago. 49.9% to 48.6%. In Nevada, 92% of the vote is in. 6 electoral votes. Biden maintains his lead of 20,137. 49.7% to 48.1%. Let's go over to John King and discuss what's going on. John, I also want to bring in David Chalian, our CNN political director. He and his team, they're trying to determine at what point CNN will be able to make a projection who's going to win this presidential contest. And David Chalian, tell us what you're learning and how your team is working. Take us behind the scenes.
Well, the first thing you should understand, Wolf, is that it's not us, you, me, John King in this studio talking about projections here. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
As you noted, there's a team of dedicated statistical analysts,
There's a few on here. One watching, three watching. Who are you? Superman in tights.
Every single time vote comes in from one of these states, they plug it into their models and their formulas, and they're trying to ascertain.
Are you on Project Cars or Project Cars 2?
That whoever's number 2 in the contest, and by the way, in all 4 of these states, that person is Donald Trump right now, does not have a real possibility with all the vote that's remaining out there to overtake the number 1 person in these contests. Right now, that's Joe Biden across these 4 states. So it's that calculating that is going on in a room with statisticians, and I'm just presenting what they do for you all here so that everyone can understand sort of what's happening. Because I think the question we're all getting is, you know, John and Wolf, you guys are talking all the time at the wall, and you're saying, what this march Joe Biden's on, and a lot of people are just sort of like, well, why can't it be projected? It's because of that. It's because of the math and getting to the highest level of confidence before any projection is made.
It's about, John King, as major a decision as a news organization can make when we project who will be the next president of the United States.
It is something of which you need to be. You don't just want to be, you need to be certain. And so you need to get to David's point. We have excellent people. The people you don't see on television are working just as hard as the people you do see on television. We want to know just as much as you want to know. And we know you're frustrated. You see some people out there saying the TV networks are holding on to this. We're not holding on to this. We love you. We want you to stay. We hope you
fucking LJ, I can hear everything that's on your computer.
We're doing this because it's critical. This is the presidency of the United States. The world is watching this decision. And again, we're getting, when you call into these states and you tell the people of Pennsylvania, well, how many ballots are left and how many are provisional and when will you have them done? We're getting sometimes conflicting information from them, and that's not because they're getting anything wrong.
I can hear myself.
Too. We have an incredibly high turnout election. They have things called provisional ballots. Those are ones they have to go double check the work. Does the person have the right address? Were they supposed to vote at that polling place?
Stuff nowadays.
They also requested a mail-in ballot, and they showed up to vote in person. Did they actually mail that ballot in? Are they trying to vote twice? Normally not the case. People just, people are trying to vote in this pandemic.
How's that open up for you?
An election in the middle of a pandemic, 3 different ways to vote in most states: early, in person, election day, show up, vote by mail. So it is confusing, and the end result is the most consequential thing we do. We pick a president. Go ahead, Dave.
No, I was just going to say, we're talking about provisional ballots, I think, is really important. Normally, we don't pay a ton of attention to them, right? But because what you're saying, it's the
you can actually
election,
use your
right?
gears now on
so
your
many
triggers.
People are voting by mail. Millions and millions of Americans voted by mail, and they had never voted that way before. And so one of the things that happened is that some folks,
is that how you're going to get your advantage over me?
In time, and so they went to go drop it off on election day, right? Drop it off. That could then be treated as a provisional ballot at that point. So what we're seeing is even provisional ballots are not the same as they've been.
Are you looking up freaking strats to like set up your car?
Universes of outstanding votes, understand what is the potential breakdown of those votes, where they're coming from geographically, the method of the voting, all of that, and that's all
You can't get around this fucking corner. It doesn't matter.
that feeds into these calculations.
Right, and a provisional ballot could be a number of things, but in this case, most people, what we're told is, let's imagine you live out here. Like, you live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I think a big thing is like getting around this corner right, so your entry speed over the line's quite high.
For whatever reason, maybe it came late. Actually, in this county, the county made some mistakes and sent people the wrong ballot. But for whatever reason, you didn't drop it in the mail, and it was a week ago. And then you're hearing on the news, don't drop it in the mail because it won't get there. There are all these postal delays. So you make a choice. You could fill it out, go to a drop box, or you could say, you know what, forget about it. I'm going to leave it at home, and I'm going to go show up on election day. Well, the records show that you have a mail-in ballot that you asked for. So they might say, sir, we thought you were supposed to vote by mail. Here's a provisional ballot, and then we're going to go check just to make sure that your ballot didn't come in the mail, so that you're not trying to vote twice.
Oh, now I've got a stream delay.
We're not suggesting there's any nefarious activity. We're just suggesting that in these counties, they have to be extra careful, so it takes a little bit longer to count, because should I count?
No, I didn't realize it'd be so much of a stream delay, because Discord stream is pretty much instant.
In Pennsylvania. So given all this, what's the state of play in Pennsylvania right now?
The state of play in Pennsylvania right now, let me come out of Allegheny County and go statewide, is that Joe Biden has a nearly 15,000 vote lead, 14,541. That lead has been growing steadily in small bunches.
See, the one for me is the next corner. I always fail on that, but if I get past that, I've got a decent lap.
With 3.3 million for him and 3.3 million for him, 14,000. It's sizable in some states. It's not so sizable in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which is so big. And so we just want to wait and see a little bit more.
No, you have to delay it by another like 2 seconds.
There is zero evidence that lead is going to shrink. However, ballots are out there. And the reason
on top of that,
so seriously, and we take it so seriously, is if I come over here and do this and tell you that is certain, not just a hypothetical, we're just going
to closer,
that makes Joe Biden president of the United States. That one state. You could do it in another way, even if we don't have Pennsylvania just yet. And we decide we have, we're waiting on Pennsylvania, we're counting those ballots, but we're pretty sure about Arizona and Nevada. That would make Joe Biden the president-elect of the United States. The stakes here are enormous. Now, again, all of the math
that was
we
a pretty good turn.
And all of the
What's
data
wrong with
we
that?
see, and all of the calls into states tell us that we have seen what has played out over the last 24, now 36 hours. Things have shifted in Biden's favor, although in the president's defense, in the state of Arizona, for example, the lead has come down a little bit. Joe Biden is still in the lead, but the president has made up a little
It's
bit
when
of ground there.
like
So you see a
2
little bit of
wheels
movement there,
on
a
each
little bit of
side,
movement
either side can go over, but
because
as soon as
absolute
the
imperative
third
is
one
to get
goes
right.
over,
So David,
I think that's it.
what's still out there in Pennsylvania? Tell us what you're seeing, what you're hearing from our folks on the ground.
Well, this is a perfect example of what we're talking about as they're trying to make projections. There's not one consistent number either, right? So we have reporters all across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and we think maybe there's a universe of 185,000 outstanding ballots perhaps in Pennsylvania, but we're also checking in with campaigns, in addition to our reporters on the ground, with state officials, and not everybody has the exact same number because it's not an exact science. And so these are estimates. That also adds to taking the time to do the right calculations, because since it's not an exact science, if you don't know exactly how many ballots,
you haven't got any gears. All you need to worry about is just steering your acceleration and your braking.
And like John just said, with the stakes so high, you want to make sure
you should get one
those estimates lead up to
if you think it's that easy.
That you are
I think it gives you so much of an advantage.
As you can possibly be. That is not a projection you would have to pull back. That's where we're in right now. And so what we've learned about the outstanding ballots in Pennsylvania is that the vast majority of them are mail ballots. There is a potential universe of an additional 100,000 provisional ballots that I'm treating separately at the moment here. Just talking about the universe that is mostly mail ballots. We know a lot of them are from Democratic areas. And this is what we've been explaining for the last several days. As the mail ballots get counted, we see Joe Biden so overperforming what his current tally is statewide, because that's how Joe Biden's voters vote. And a lot of what is out there is from Democratic areas. So those two factors combined suggest this trajectory is going to continue, and Joe Biden's going to add to his lead. As he does, we will get to a confidence level of that near certainty that it can't be reversed.
Let us know when we get to that confidence level. You know, John, we're talking about Pennsylvania right now.
I was just
and we're
saying,
about to get this
he
hour
did
a whole bunch
that,
of votes from the Pittsburgh
wide
area,
corner
Allegheny
quite
County.
nice.
We're told they will release 7,000 ballots, approximately 32.
But I kept fucking up. You can notice me, I'm like swerving about a bit.
Ballots, and then in the
There's definitely time to be made, especially after this
area, we're going to
corner.
get a whole bunch of results as well.
So think about what you just said. Let's break that down into groups. And this is where we're
See me
talking
fucking
about
going about all
Allegheny
the place
County.
there.
We've been told now for a day and a half or so, there's the ballpark 40,000 ballots to be counted out there. So what's one question we ask? You know, the Trump campaign. Look, both campaigns are actively trying to work the refs here too. Let's be honest about it, right? The Biden campaign says the math is
You
going
beat
our way.
yourself, though.
You guys should feel more comfortable.
You
Trump
should have just
campaign
got a
says,
better
"Oh, we're
time,
not a comeback." We
and
need
then
to listen
had
to
a
them.
better
That
ghost
doesn't
race
mean that
against.
doesn't mean everything they're telling us is true, but they're advocating for their candidate. So one thing you hear from the Trump people is when these overseas military ballots come in.
Yeah, the problem with having a ghost is you can't fucking just drive into it and turn quickly. Well, fucking Mr. Bumper Cars over here.
So they're going to count some military ballots. Let's find out. Let's get it on the record. Let's look and see what happens. You mentioned
It doesn't
the
work
damage
though, does it?
That is, you know, you use your pen or your pencil, you didn't quite fill out the circle.
Because
Or when
like
it's in the
that
mail,
last
it's got
turn,
red
you were like,
paper,
that's it,
it's
I'm just gonna
scanned.
go full in,
That doesn't mean
like
nothing wrong with it.
45 degrees into me, and then you're like, oh
Over the
shit,
course
it's
of
a
week, some of
ghost.
it was a little roughed up. So we're going to get these ballots. This is about 10% of the statewide population in Pennsylvania. You see Joe Biden winning nearly 60% of the vote here, as David just noted, and this is something that our data team takes a look at. Consistently, Joe Biden comes in above this number when we see just the mail-in ballots counted. Because this number are all the ballots, and if you pull out, you just see, again, the President of the United States, he's losing in Pennsylvania right now, but he's getting more votes than he did 4 years ago. This was a high turnout election across the country, but including in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and you see all that red. These aren't big population centers, most of them. A lot of them are small rural counties, but the president's very popular. So as we watch the votes here, this is one of the places where he runs okay. Joe Biden's running better. I want to go back in time just to see. Here's something else you factor in. It's about the same.
I think that you should take my ghost off and you try and beat your own ghost.
So you're looking for things that change the dynamic, right? Is this a consistent path? Is it consistent with last time? So we watch these votes. We're going to get them.
Because if you beat your ghost, you're more than likely going to beat my ghost.
70% or more. Well, we know that this is the western part of the state.
You think so, but it's
very
not.
different kind of Democrat here. These are the suburbs of the city of Philadelphia. We've seen that happen here. If you get a pattern, you start to feel a little bit more comfortable. One of the other factors here.
Like, I'm not going to tell you the tricks that I learned. I probably learned like 2 or 3 little techniques for just going around these 2 corners constantly and fucking up.
Easier to make this decision when you're talking about a state like this. And even Ohio, had us on our heels a little bit, or had us in pause on election night because Joe Biden opened a big lead. But once the president started roaring back, once they started counting the election day, okay, he won the state quite comfortably last time. He's roaring back. We know where these votes are coming from. It lines up. When it all lines up, then you can make a call even before you're done. In this case, because they
I
count the
think
votes in a
I
different
think
way,
it'd be good
and because
competition,
it's
to be
closer,
honest.
Just caution is just smart. We're going to get to the end. It might take us a little longer than we thought.
Yeah.
We know it's taking a little longer than many of you would
Kind of
like.
like me.
But we're going to get there. We're gonna
Spent
get
like 3 or 4 hours playing this game, just prancing, going around some stupid corners. But I've gotten a little bit better. But we're literally in the slowest cars in the game. Like when you get into like the crazy cars, that's the.
move this up so I can show you.
That's gonna be fucking tough.
My apologies for that. Sorry, my friend. Go.
All right, Biden got 2,361 votes.
That's gonna be fucking tough.
Trump got 2,337 votes. About 50-50.
Yeah.
Right. So
in
again.
Yuma County.
Right. So again, here's Yuma County. Let me turn this
Yeah,
up. I'm
like,
gonna bring up just the county.
sometimes
First,
you
let's
don't
look at
need the
statewide
full
votes. So you're looking at a Joe Biden lead of about 39,000, a little more than 39,000.
Yeah,
If you
the-
go back to late Wednesday night into Thursday,
sometimes you
it
don't
was twice
need the
that,
full-
right? So you're seeing a trend toward the president, Joe Biden protecting that lead.
Thing is,
but
yeah, I
the
guess
now
if you're
president
gonna
cut
be
it in half
getting
in the last
brake
24, I have
pedals,
to do the
like
exact math, for 24 to 30 hours.
like
the
when I
president's
go
cut
around
it in half.
corners, I'm
So
like
okay,
half
you're saying,
throttle
okay,
or
so that-
3/4
yeah,
throttle
go back
sometimes,
and
because
forth.
if I put my foot down, I'm just gonna spin out.
That doesn't help much, right? It doesn't help much, except one reason it does help a little bit if you think of it this way. You think of it this
Yeah.
way. This is a conservative
See how
county.
it
Yuma
goes,
County.
eh?
Overall, Joe Biden's getting 46, the president getting 52. If you did that, well, you're pretty close to that, right? You're 50-50. So at least it's consistent as you're doing your modeling about can we make a projection. So in this county, 52-46.
I'm gonna go get a
That's
drink.
a pretty even split. Joe Biden's probably a little above 46. I'm not doing the percentages in my head, but it's about what you're getting there. So you're taking votes off the board too. That's also important. How many votes are out there? The more you take off the board, the more comfortable you can be with a statistical analysis. But again, when you come back to statewide, that Joe Biden is still ahead in Arizona. His team thinks he's going to win it, but the president has cut that lead in half from late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. So, and now he's pulling. I know he's just they're pulling about even as these votes come in. You think, let's just wait, let's get some more. And as we do that, let me roll this off the screen for you here. We do know every vote counts. This is your biggest pocket of vote. Maricopa County will give you 60%. And again, it's blue right now. But remember 4 years ago, this is again, if you're on the decision desk and you're saying, should we call this? Well, the president carried this county 4 years ago. It's pretty evenly divided. It's trending toward the Democrats without a doubt. That's why you go from red in 2016 to blue in 2020, but not by a ton, 51 to 48 if you round up there. So you want to see, number one, votes in Phoenix. We show you the county here, Phoenix, and there's all these suburbs. As you move more west and you get out here, guess what? It's more conservative, it's more rural. Republicans come in. So we get these votes and we figure out where did they come from? What's the split? Is Joe Biden overperforming or underperforming? And you take your time because there's, again, we know everybody wants to know. We want to know, but we want to be right. We will be right.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Secretary of State of Arizona, Katie Hobbs, told us that there's still an estimated 250,000 to 270,000 uncounted outstanding ballots in Arizona. That's about 6% statewide. So they're at 94% estimated reporting. So 6% of the vote remains outstanding, which is a significant number in a tight race like this in Arizona.
And we expect, I'm told, a lot of those votes to come in about 9 o'clock. And so again, you get more votes, you look at them, are there trend lines, does something emerge, does it get you close enough to the finish line? But you mentioned that many votes, with a lead that size, you would be in haste. If you try to rush it now, you might get it right. You might get it right. You can run it through models. I'm not criticizing anyone who's done it another way. There are people who've decided, there are others who've decided they can call this, but that lead has been cut in half in the last 30 hours. I think the safe watchword here, we're talking about the presidency of the United States, but even if it was a race for governor, even statewide race, it's important. It's important to the people who live here, and now it's important to the people who live in the entire country.
Hold on 1 second. This is Allegheny County. Let's listen in.
We are approximately 2/3 of the way done with the military, and we're starting to transition into counting the 29,000 ballots that people received.
I want to know how someone got 46 seconds on this track. They must have chewed the living shit out of it.
The people that returned both
had these different gear ratios
married
a
the
lot.
two together, and we're going to set aside the original ballot and count the orange one. And part of that is people that only sent back
Probably
the
had
second
really short
corrected
shifts
ballot.
or something,
We're
so
gonna start opening and
you
counting
can get
those.
to really high speeds
I can't
before the
estimate
next
how long
turn.
the process is going to take, and it's the same process we've been doing. You got to open the outer envelope, extract the secrecy envelope, then open the secrecy envelope, extract the ballots, scan them. But as of now, I believe we're going to generate some reports and issue new results between 6:30 and 7, so that to the point where we are now.
Well, that turn that you keep going off is a 90-degree angle, but then the turn afterwards is basically full acceleration. So if you brake to basically nothing and then turn, and then hit the apex of all three of two of the corners, that's the way you're doing that. But it's your entry that's you're fucking me up. You're managing to actually get into that corner.
So what we did is we sorted these ballots alphabetically. And like I said, we married the two. If Jane Doe returned 2, we put them both together. That way we could decide which ballot should be counted.
Master.
We're going to segregate and not count the wrong ballot and make sure we count
I think
corrected
I
ballot.
think basically restarting and then just getting used to and working out that corner is probably the best thing to do.
So some of these folks were working on
The other corners, the remaining corners are a piece of piss. It's just that fucking wide one into the right angle. I can't fucking do it. I know that if I sort that one out, I could probably cut 2 seconds off my time. Because I'm pretty sure I did what you did, and you kind of turn, you go in too fast, you end up hitting that knobbly bit, and then you lose a fuck ton of time.
They returned a mail-in ballot, and those voters would have been given a provisional, and provisional ballots have not been counted yet. So that prohibits people from voting twice.
Postmark ones that have come in the last 3 days?
They are currently segregated. We have a
All
count.
right, we're going to continue to watch that, but we're getting new numbers from Nevada right
There you
now.
go.
Take a
There you
look
go.
at this.
There you go.
Biden maintains
Oh,
his
yes,
lead,
accelerate. Oh, that's nice.
22,657,
You did that corner
49.8%,
so much
to
better.
48%. That lead has gone up for Biden in Nevada. He's expanded his lead right now. Once again, 22,657, 93% of the estimated vote.
Yeah, but I'm
in
fucking
Clark
wobbling
County,
about everywhere.
Nevada. Let's go out to Clark County, Nevada. That's the biggest county out there.
All right, so there's your statewide total. Joe Biden plus 22,657. Again, just like Maricopa in Arizona, in Clark County, it's even bigger. About 72, 73% of the vote is going to come out of here. And Wolf, let me show you just what we just have right now. Again, you're looking for trends, right? Is Joe Biden building or shrinking his lead, especially in Clark County?
I think once you start getting like consistent lap times down,
5,000.
that's when you can start like changing shit all the time as well.
54,
I think once you start getting
29,
like consistent lap times down,
34.
that's when you can
So
start.
Joe Biden gets 62%. Right? David Chalian was talking earlier about one of the things you're doing if you're behind the scenes. You're trying to say
I
is
probably
this
know
moving in
a little
direction?
bit
Is it
more than
close
the
enough to
average
call it?
layman,
It's
but
a
that's
narrow
about
lead.
it.
Where you wanna go? I want to come back out to the statewide just so you can see what I'm trying to say here. But number one, 62% in this batch of votes. It's above, it's almost 10 points above, 8 points above what Joe Biden is doing in the county overall. So it's a good report for Joe Biden in that sense. Then you pop out to the statewide numbers, and he's at 50% if you round up there. And he's getting 62% in this batch of votes. Now, this is just one batch of counted votes. So you watch the next one. And you're consistently seeing this coming from the same area. That helps you advance the ball, if you will. But this is good news for the former vice president. Because you see, A, it grows your lead. Anything, if you're winning, you want to add points to the board right there. And we get more votes off the board, which helps you get closer to making a decision. But we also saw earlier today, if you were with us, the voting officials, the election officials in Clark County were saying they're going to take their time here. And they still have some ballots that they're going to count. In some scenarios, they say it could take through the weekend. So they're going to take their time. The question is, do we see a consistent pattern of reports to get you close enough to say, okay, this train has left the station and it has no other destination? That's what you're looking for.
22,657 vote lead for Biden over Trump in Nevada. It's an impressive lead, but there's still 7%.
You never fucking break.
So that's a lot of votes that potentially could change that.
It is a lot of votes, and we have seen from time to time.
Yeah,
small batches
you're
of
getting better at that
irregularities
bloody
coming
turn.
in. Again, this became hotly contested. You think about Nevada; it was a Clinton state. So that again, when you're looking about how you could put together a decision. I was talking earlier about Ohio. When the president roared back in Ohio, it was a state he won 4 years
that
ago.
one you
It's
fell
usually a
out
red
of?
state in presidential politics. That gives you more of a comfort zone.
It was that
if
turn
will,
you
in
went
making a
off
projection.
onto.
So here is Nevada, Clark County, a Clinton state.
This one.
But narrowly,
Isn't this the one that
Let's
you
go back in
fucked
time.
up with?
You're going to see just Clark County first. Now let me pull out to the state.
I mean, the
This is
entry
48
turn.
to 46.
The starting
You round
point.
up. So this was a very competitive state 4 years ago, which means if you're making the decisions about can we call this state, you have to remember the history. You also have to remember that this is one of the states, especially here in Clark County. The Trump campaign, late in the campaign, was looking at the map saying, we might lose Wisconsin. We might lose Michigan. Where can we make that up? And Nevada was one of the places they targeted.
It's 'cause I'm on
with a pretty
state.
strong economic message here. Some of it was distortions of what Joe Biden says, but the president was out here saying Joe Biden's going to lock you down. Imagine the economic impact. Las Vegas, Reno, the tourism and travel industry. They've been devastated by the coronavirus. Much of the economy has been, but it's especially personal here. So that was one of the questions. Can the president perform
Spoilers, mate.
better than he might have performed here because of that argument? And that's why we have some caution as we
Spoilers.
count these votes. But again, that last batch we just showed you shows that former Vice President Joe Biden getting 62% of those votes in Clark County. That shows you, at least for now, that he's building. And that's what you want to watch, as you get more votes. Is he building? Is he shrinking? Sometimes you get a roller coaster. The president goes up with one batch, the former vice president goes up with another. You're looking for consistency. And again,
Getting
there's a train on the
tilted.
tracks. Is it going to? Can it only get to one destination, or is it possible? Still, that's what you're asking.
There's still a lot of votes in Clark County outstanding. 88% of the vote in Clark County is in, so there's 12% outstanding, and that's what 75% of the vote in the state of Nevada.
Right, and so those tens of thousands of votes, if you got one batch that came in overwhelmingly for one candidate, we have not seen that. But that's one of the things you're thinking about. So consistency, as I said, the last batch was 62% for Joe Biden. When we get a roughly equal number of votes in a batch later today, if it's 62% or ballpark of that again for Joe Biden, then you can start to draw conclusions.
We're about to get more votes coming in from Pittsburgh, Allegheny County in Pennsylvania, a key state right now. Also, more votes coming in from Arizona. We have a lot going on right now. We'll be right back.
Your turn is so much smoother than mine. Thing is, you get, yeah, but you get like a really nice. Oh, that was a nice turn. Thing is, you get, yeah, but you get like a really nice. Oh, that was a nice turn. Oh shit! Oh no! You fucking shit! Oh, you fucker! You fucker! 200ths of a second! You dick! You fucker! You fucker! Right, you got 3 minutes to beat it. You prick! Nice one. I knew you were gonna do it. You got I've kind of learned from yours as well. You can kind of like cut that final corner like so much more than I thought you could. Like if you looked on mine, like I go quite wide on that you know, the wide bank into the like the second turn. Like you cut that really close in it. You when you go into that other when it straightens up, you're like straight as well. Because I'm always going wide and like hitting the fucking grass on the other side. So I might have to try that and see if that helps. But yeah, you did some like weird braking, and then you just like turned and accelerated. And you just like stuck to the road. I'm like, you lucky fucker. Yeah. Yeah. Well, what are you now then on your rankings? You must be. Well, you're above me, but I don't know if you're above the guy afterwards. If you X out of that. Well, you're in the pack now, man. Yeah, we could easily get like probably to the top of that page. No, that's 0.2 seconds. Oh, to the top, yeah. Well, it's 1.6 seconds, 1.8 seconds, isn't it? Yeah. '86.
All right, we got a key race alert in Pennsylvania, 20 electoral votes. Biden's lead has just gone up a bit. He's ahead of Trump now by 14,923, almost 15,000 votes, 49.5%, 49.3%, 96% of the estimated vote in Pennsylvania is in right now, 4% outstanding. Votes just came in. We got the numbers, John, from Mercer County in Pennsylvania.
And so in a state,
yeah, well,
where,
that's
again,
the race car version of it.
3.3 million. The former vice president's lead just went up by 300 and change. You see all those votes and you think, well, that's not a lot. It is a lot. It matters. Every vote matters. So let's show you where they came in. And this is even more significant because of where they came from. Mercer County. Look how President Trump is doing here. 62%, 63 if you want to round up, 36% for the former vice president.
Downforce.
So you hear new votes from Mercer County. your instinct would be the president's going to get more votes. But the mail-in ballots are going disproportionately Democratic. And that's one of the things we look at as we try to decide, can you call this race? Can you project a winner? Well, here's what we just got. The President of the United States in this new ballot count here, these are mail-in ballots that they're taking their time to count, 645. The former vice president, the Democratic nominee, Joe Biden,
I want
gets
good graphics.
1,027. So he gets 60% of this batch of votes as they're counted. So again, if you're trying to figure out which way are we headed here, 60% in a county where he's only getting 36%. The mail-in ballots are disproportionately cast by Democrats. So let me move this up a little bit, just so you see. This is ruby red. This is Trump country in western Pennsylvania. 62%, 63 if you want to round it up now, 60% 4 years ago. This is the area where Donald Trump stunned, frankly, Pennsylvania Democrats by not only winning these counties, but by turning people out, by getting people to come out of the woodwork to support him. 31,000 votes and change 4 years ago.
So smooth that is.
The president, more voters. This was not a low turnout election. This is not people changing minds. This is more voters coming out. Joe Biden is losing this county and losing it convincingly, but the Democrats who live there made the choice in these COVID times to vote by mail. And so we're seeing this consistently across the state. If you move over to the blue counties, especially in Philadelphia and the suburbs, this number's up around 80%. But even in these conservative counties, Trump country in Pennsylvania, Joe Biden is winning.
They're all
in the
real
mail-in
players
ballots
as well.
because Democrats decided that's how they wanted to vote.
And remind our viewers why.
They're
why
all
is
real
the
players.
Biden voters doing so much better with the mail-in ballots as opposed to the Trump
I don't
voters,
think we're ready
even in
for the
Republican Trump counties.
Right, so
the online
Democrats live here
plagiarism.
too, just like Republicans live in the blue areas. And Democrats had a decided strategy. Biden campaign encouraged it. Remember the Democratic convention, make a plan, vote early. COVID security issues. Most Democrats, many Democrats, and most in this state decided it was safer, or they just decided they were more comfortable. It was easier and more convenient, a combination of those things. Access to early balloting. Pennsylvania had never done anything like this before. Essentially wide open early balloting. Pennsylvania 4 years ago didn't really even have much early voting. And so you have a chance to do something new. You can do it early. You can stay safe. And it's more convenient for you. And we see participation is up because of it. That will be one of the elections. Once we're done with this one, that'll be one of the conversations.
I wonder if it would like
hopefully sooner rather than later. Should you keep these
recognize
an
analog
more people are
signal?
voting. But this is solid Republican country, and so as you're trying to figure out, is Joe Biden on an irreversible course to a Pennsylvania victory?
Because like
this is one of the things you look
Top
for.
Gear 2 is like just binary, isn't it? It's just like left and right on the D-pad.
This is all that's left to count. Are these mail-in ballots, a few provisional ballots, a few extras, but the overwhelming bulk of the votes still being counted are mail-in ballots, and we know, and we are seeing the proof of it every time we get
this is
results,
first
they are
Project
overwhelmingly
Cars.
cast by Democrats, even Democrats who live. They could be Republicans who decided to get a mail-in ballot and vote for Joe Biden, but these are mostly Democrats who live in these communities. And I just want to come back out to show the significance here. If you remember the Democratic convention, after that, Joe Biden did a train trip. He started in Cleveland, and he came down, and he came right into this part. He came through Ohio. That's Youngstown, Ohio. And he came down and went right into this part of Pennsylvania. He decided, maybe I'm not going to take. Maybe I'm not going to win over Trump voters. I'm going to try. But I'm going to try to get Democrats who maybe didn't turn out.
It's a bit of a slog, isn't it? Battlegrounds.
And if you, as you see this here, again, the president's going to win this county, and win it convincingly. But Joe Biden.
Yeah, I found that it got a bit formulaic. But like you said, like
in part, Trump has himself.
Yeah, it's quite enjoyable.
The Democrats voted in big numbers with the mail-in ballots. The Republicans didn't because the president kept saying,
yeah, well, it was one book, wasn't it? It was like,
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, slow beginning.
The Democrats went and did the mail-in ballots. The Republicans said
it kind of went slow beginning, big middle, big end.
180
and it was like
two starkly different strategies. The president said
there was no like up and downs really. It was just like it's just like a constant
there's no evidence it's
go at the end.
But again, the president did not suffer.
Yeah. Some of the pacing is a bit
Pennsylvania
iffy.
Did not drop. His vote in Pennsylvania, look at that 3.3 million now. He won the state 4 years ago with 2.9. So the president turned out his voters. This is not an issue of turnout fell off because President Trump miscalculated.
Oh, yeah.
He did a whole bunch of rallies.
I fucking love that bit. I knew it was going to happen.
You can call that a win. You increased your total from 4 years ago. Normally, a politician would be
as
happy as can be. I won 4 years ago.
That's one of them.
And even more votes this time. However, the story right now is that the Democrats turned out even more.
Oh yeah, but
4 years ago. And so, in essence, both strategies worked, if you will. He increased his turnout doing it his way. He increased his vote count doing it his way. But look what the Democrats
he does have
are doing.
faults, doesn't
he? You're just watching to see if that continues to build.
Well, his ego now.
Votes. That's not a huge lead when you have 3.3 and 3.3 million votes cast, but it is a steady progress. Just want to look at my notes. At 9 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, because he's a fucking holy warrior, man.
587 votes
He's
ahead.
literally
So you
one
can
of
see
two.
It's building. That's not giant, but if you're Joe Biden, it's heading in the right
It's
direction.
almost
And
15,000
his
votes.
his sword
turnout,
transcends
voter turnout,
fucking
whether by mail
mortal
or
bounds.
early, absentee, the same day. Take a look at the national turnout right now. It's grown
Is he
amazingly, even though
just
there's a
because Karen
coronavirus
Murphy's
pandemic
died
going on,
doesn't mean
people
you need
wanted
another
different
fucking
ways to be
character
able to
today.
vote, in a safe way, especially older Americans, people with underlying
Well, you
health
gotta believe in-
conditions. On election day, they
you
didn't
gotta
want to
believe
wait
in
long
polka.
lines and take that risk.
Right. So this will be and should
Didn't you
be
like
a
it?
conversation.
Didn't you
in
like
all
it
50
in
states. The United States of America? Each state has its own rules. States administer
in the
elections.
dinosaur
This
one?
absolutely should be and will be a conversation in every state because you're absolutely right. If you go back a few months, what were the question? Will we have as many votes? Will people be afraid? Rightly so, to come out and vote. How will this, as states adopted, each state did it a little differently. Mail-in balloting, in-person early voting that should be able to be safer. But you saw the lines. A lot of people went to in-person early voting thinking.
Yeah, well, but I'm going for a walk, I think, tomorrow. But yeah, I will do. All right. See y'all. Bye.